I always do that.
Let's try this.
I'm a night rider.
This is pretty much Gillette.
Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher.
The best a man
Swear
can
I gotta
get.
get higher now. I'm a night rider.
Okay.
Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire.
If
I
I
supply that fire, man.
may.
I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I
All
swear I
right.
get higher.
It is a wonderful Thursday night. I'm feeling pretty pumped up. I'm sitting here recording this podcast and multitasking at the same time as I'm watching my New England Patriots take on the Jets here in MetLife Stadium. First drive, Patriots were looking great. Defense was playing great. We're flying around out there, putting a lot of pressure on the QB. I noticed this about these teams too. They kind of mirror each other in a way. They have a very strong run game right now. And they have talented running backs. Their defensive lines are really their strength. We get a lot of pressure for the Patriots. So, hoping we can keep Aaron Rodgers on his toes, which he's been able to do quite a bit. He scrambled out for a first down early on their first drive. They were kind of marching down the field there until they picked up a offensive holding call, made it 1st and 20, and then Aaron Rodgers was sacked, and that put them back quite a bit, forcing them to punt on the first drive. The Patriots get the ball and go 3 and out. A couple just not great plays. A run that went nowhere and a couple incomplete passes. So we were kind of really sitting back on our heels on the first drive, punting back 0-0. And then, Aaron Rodgers does what he does and just marches down the field and finds Alan Lazard with enough open space to get around the corner there and basically let his jersey get ripped on his way to the end zone. Right now, at the end of the first quarter, the Jets are pinned pretty deep, and that's enough about that. I'll just continue to watch as things go on. Monday Night Football resulted with the Texans pulling out a win. Oh, sorry, no, wrong game. I completely forgot about that. That was Sunday night. The Texans beat the Chicago Bears, and Caleb Williams just kind of pouting after the game. And C.J. Stroud just continues to become my favorite player, always praising Jesus and always trying to lift up the people around him. He's just one pure character, and that is admirable to watch with somebody with the spotlight on them. The spotlight can take a lot of that shine away. They still just continue to be themselves, and those are my favorite kind of guys out there. In case you were wondering what kind of guys I'm into. Moving on, just today was a great day. I got my stitches out. I'm excited for things ahead of me right now. I'm really pumped up. I got to play golf with an old buddy of mine we used to hang out all the time. Probably you would say the best of friends. And over time, you kind of create distance and some of these friendships or whatever it is. And just being able to reconcile and hang out is just such a powerful moment. Moments like that in life are very important, and if you've got somebody that, you used to spend a lot of time with in the day, somebody that was a friend and always there, just remember to always check in on them. And, a couple of weeks ago, I just got this random ad on Snapchat from an old name and boom, it's like back to old times. And we went out there and we played 9 holes at Fairview as the sun was setting. And it was just a nice night just to hang out and chill. And that's one thing that I love about golf so much is that you can kind of just hijack your friend for an hour or two and really get a chance to actually catch up and see what uh, they've been up to, My buddy, he went to college and served time in the military and was just, he's grown to be such an upstanding citizen, and to see that is awesome. It brings a smile to your face when you have people around you that you can look back on and remember the fun times and the crazy times, but also see them and be proud of them, and have them be proud of you. Those type of moments in life are the moments that you really have to hang on to and cherish and realize they're so important because you can get wrapped up in your head and think whatever you want to think negatively, but when you have moments like that, they're so special. And the impacts that you make in life with the people that are around you, whether that be an impact on you or you impacting another person, is exactly what you're supposed to do in life. It's so much more important and fulfilling when you take a step back and allow your perspective to look at it in that way, that the impacts that you make on people's lives are so much more important than whatever you can get out of them, you know? In so many ways. And if you're taking advantage of people, that's first of all, that's wrong. But take that, take that statement, take the power behind that statement to kind of really just allow you to look at people for what they're supposed to be. Um, Speaking of people, Julius Peppers is down on the field, and I just realized he's the only Patriot on the field with a Guardian cap on, and that is kind of bonkers. Sorry, that took me away. That kind of had an impact on me. I got out there, I played golf, which obviously, if I was playing golf, that means today was the day I got my stitches out. Um, not that impressive of a scar. Right now, the tissue around it is pretty irritated. Just gotta keep some lotion on that thing and hopefully let it return back to kind of normal because there's already a wrinkle in that spot in your finger anyway. So I'm thinking it'll just kind of blend into that. And if that's the case, that would be best case scenario. I got my stitches out, and then on top of that, I'm signed up now for a 10K over in Yukon. There is a Husky Ruck and Run, which benefits veterans uh, with the date being so close to Veterans Day. It's for November, so right now we are currently 8 weeks out. Um, we'll be 8 weeks out come Sunday for race day. And I'm going through my first week of training here with this new schedule, courtesy of the Nike Run Club for an improvement in 10K time, which is honestly, I'm looking at the schedule and I'm thinking I'd probably be able to run a half marathon at a decent pace after doing this. The long runs are anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes, which what I'm aiming for in this 10K realistically is, we'll say 50 minutes. 63 minutes would be a 9-minute pace, so I'm looking somewhere considerably, like, not even that would be around 8:30, and to me, that's not an impressive pace. I go out and one of the first workouts, it's a lot of time, a lot of recovery pace runs around 8:45 based on different mile times or times that you've achieved in races. There are paces that I was able to follow due to um this resource really that I found from the Nike Run Club, which I'm telling you, if you are in doubt of anything, the best thing to do is just hit Google. Like, yeah, I've done a lot to build endurance on my own, but when I'm trying to reach a new level, I'm going to have to break out of my routine, right? I'm going to have to introduce some new things into my repertoire. And this week, I started with a 35-minute run, and then the next day, I had 8 200-meter repeats at 5K pace, which I accidentally did like my mile pace for these 200-meter dashes, if you will. And they're not really dashes, you're not sprinting, you're running at a level where you're probably around zone 2, high zone 2, zone 3 cardio with your heart rate. But I just felt so loose and so good and so fresh because the 5K that I ran in a couple weeks ago, I hit my best time ever in a 5K. I came in second in my bracket, 10th overall, and I was really honestly impressed with the endurance that I was able to build up and the pace that I was able to keep compared to the 5 mile race that I had earlier in the summer. It was, for me, a great development, just kind of not even putting too much into it. I was just going out and, like I was saying, doing my euphoric fours, just running 4 miles, finding that sweet spot, just a little bit over 30 minutes. And I finished the 3.1 mile race in 22 minutes and 20 seconds, or I'd have to look back at it, but it was either 22 minutes and 14 seconds or 22 minutes and 28 seconds. I think my pace was 7:14 miles, which considering I finished in just under 40 minutes in the 5-mile race, I knocked, we'll say, 45 seconds or so off of my mile time. Um, that's great. And is that my peak? Is the 5K my best event? I'm I'm not ready to admit that. And honestly, when it comes to what my overall goal is, I want to be able to run in the Boston Marathon. So I'm going to have to keep a pace around there for 26.1 miles. And it's achievable because what I'm going to do with this 10K now is hopefully improve on my pacing for a longer race. When I ran in the half marathon, I paced around 8-minute miles, 8-minute and 15-second miles, I think. That is, that's decent, but I need to get that down quite a bit. And if I can run around 7:30 for 26 miles, I will be able to achieve a goal that I set out for years ago and that I haven't given up on. That is consistency. That is pushing. That is determination and will that will lead me to whatever it is that I desire. And that's just what it is. And you have to believe in that. It sounds so cliche, and maybe it is, but that is the truth. You have to believe in it, have faith. And it's not just you working for it. You have a lot of things behind you if you have faith. Somebody with pure determination and will, and somebody that, from afar I've looked at and kind of admired because it's a story similar to mine, except with a lot less trouble, but is the story of David Goggins, who this guy is like an ultra marathon man. Um, he has done the baddest ass races in the world. We're talking 100-miler races, 300-mile races, and he's got a lot of I like to call them philosophies out there, uh, people with people with the drive or the feeling that they have a purpose to push people to be the best versions of themselves. They have this way of just saying um impactful things, for a lack of better words, uh harping back on what I was talking about earlier. These things that they say, they make you think, they make you wonder, they make you go, huh, and allow you to come to the answers on your own. So I found this thread, obviously, because this is what this podcast is. It isn't just a podcast about my life, but as I sit down in front of the microphone and do this week to week, I kind of find a stride and get into it in a better way. That's the consistency, just pushing forward and developing. Every day you're developing, you know? It's a lot. No matter what you think about yourself, no matter what you think about what you're doing in your life, what the outcome of life is day to day, you have to remind yourself that it's a long time before you really start regressing, where you're really not able to do things. So just keep pushing, just like Mr. David Goggins. All right, so we'll get into the podcast, a podcast where I bring up bookmarks from Twitter that I've just kept on the shelf, and I decide to sit down in front of the microphone and share them with you and see if they can make an impact, because that's what we do here for all the bookworms on with Bookmarks for Bump. This is also we're calling back here to an old Twitter account that keeps popping up in my feed for whatever reason. Feel free to judge me if you want, but this is Jack Akis. Okay, he goes on to say, "This is David Goggins, a Navy SEAL who sold 5 million plus copies of his book, Can't Hurt Me. Here are 10 rules from David Goggins. Number 1, prove everyone wrong." And now this is one way to look at it, but the real thing that you should be doing with this is proving yourself wrong. The real limitations that are set on you in life are set by yourself. And if you ever think that you can't do something, remind yourself that you're in charge. The limitations are yours. You're able to think outside the box and do what you have to do, no matter how difficult the obstacles are in front of you. Prove yourself wrong. You think you can't do something, prove yourself wrong. When was the last time you did that? It really fires your engine when you do that. So you prove everyone wrong. Number 2 is normal is for the losers. Stop thinking normal. And that's a thought a lot of people with anxiety have. You just want to feel normal. You wonder if what you're doing is normal, or those types of thoughts, they don't do anything for you. Stop trying to achieve what other people have. Achieve what you want and be grateful for what you have. Number 3, wake yourself up. Do not wait for the wake-up call. It might be too late in the future. Yeah, I mean, I can attest to that for sure, but even when you think it's too late, it's never too late. That's what I'm the example of. Number 4, fight with your inner self. Your mental power should be more than your feelings. And it is. It is. You can really turn yourself out of a weird funk when you just start to remind yourself of things daily. That's another thing about this podcast is a lot of the things that I draw from are things that inspire me or motivate me or help me remind myself of who the hell I am. But it's important to when you have a negative thought about yourself, combat that. Uh, come Go against that and just really prove yourself wrong yet again. Number 5, your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. This is literally what number 4 is. Okay. Another case of should have looked at this bookmark before I put it on the podcast. Number 6, ask yourself, how bad do I want it? That'll lead you to a lot of places. How bad do you want it? And that desire, that's what we're talking about here when you ask yourself how bad do you want it. Yeah, you think you want a lot of things, but what do you live for? And have you found what you live for yet? Because if you don't have anything in your life that you want so bad, you haven't found your purpose yet. Number 7, control your mind. All right, start giving orders to your mind. Okay, this is I gave up on the tweet halfway through. I gave up on it halfway through. Yeah, 7, control your mind. Start giving orders to your mind. This actually does relay into the last thing I said, where I said, whenever you have that negative thought, combat it. You tell yourself, you're sitting there and maybe you're bowling and you roll a gutter ball. You could sit down and tell yourself you suck, or you remind yourself that, okay, I have 2 tries if I don't get a strike on the first one, so let's see what I could do here. Maybe I could clean it up. I've had a lot of spares like that, you know? Pick up spares in your life. Number 8, follow the 40% rule.
This is the 40%. When you quit, your mind says we're done. So it doesn't expand. There's no expansion when you quit. When you say, fuck you, this sucks, I'm drowning, I'm miserable, I'm suffering, I'm broken, but I'm not going anywhere. What happens to your mind is it does this. It says, fuck, he's not leaving. So we got to expand. We got to grow. We got to figure this fucking thing out. So then these compartments in your brain start to they have to work. They have to work. And then you start to engage parts of your mind that you never engaged before. But you can't engage it by sitting back in these nice chairs, drinking this nice water, talking to you, talking about what I want to do. That's where the 40% thing comes in. It comes in when you're in suffer mode and you say, I'm not going to quit.
Bang. Well said, David. Honestly, I mean, and that's true. That in coming from somebody who does endurance challenges, endurance races, like long distance races, 5, 10, 13, 26, 50, 100 miles, that's exactly what it is. And when you're out there and you're running for an hour, what that does to you, what that does to push you is, man, it's I can't even put it in words sometimes. It gives you so much confidence. You get done with that run that you were looking at on your schedule that was so daunting, that 10-mile run, that 13, 14, 15, whatever it is on your schedule, you look at that and you go, man, that one's going to be a tough one. And you finish it, The way you feel is indescribable. It's the top of the world. And you do that to yourself, and you do that for free. And you do that by following rules 9 and rule 10, seeking challenges and pushing your limits. That's exactly what I found in running. When I that was something that I avoided for a long period of my life, to be able to find a challenge that pushed me when I wasn't willing to be pushed. That it's so valuable, and it's why I talk about it so much. It made me a hustler. It made me it made me become a go-getter, and it has overflowed into so many different aspects of my life where it's hard to avoid the fact that it's an impact. Now, working out, taking care of yourself, your health, that's great. However, your doctor can't do 10 push-ups, but yet you can keep trusting them to take care of your health. Here are 20 mind-blowing things they don't want you to know about the sick care system. And this is probably a thread I bookmarked when RFK was going around doing speeches after he endorsed Trump, and he's really railing into the medical industry and sick children right now, and kudos to him. So this inspired this thread, which has inspired me to put it in the podcast, and we'll go on to learn these 20 facts. Number 1, Big Pharma pays for their research. You shouldn't be surprised when studies also support their products. These things fall line in line. Number 2, heart attacks were nearly non-existent until processed foods were introduced into the average person's diet. Cardiologists weren't even a respected medical profession until the past several decades. Yes, that's right. Chiropractors are the new cardiologists. Number 3, if a doctor blames cancer on meat, find a new doctor. Oh, this is advice. Cancer is caused by inflammation and mutation of cells, not from the most nutrients not from the most nutrient dense food on the planet. Say that 10 times fast. This is something we've talked about in the past with insulin resistance, with bread being at the bottom of our food chart, being the pillar that we grow our pyramid from. This is, you look at this and it's kind of weird, the insulin levels help inflammation rise throughout the inside of your body, and who's to say that's not the cause of all these cancers? What is the agenda behind it? So back into the sick care system. 4, dietary factors are the number 1 cause of death, but nutrition is often brushed under the rug in most patient visits. Yeah. When was the last time you went to the doctor and they asked you, how's your diet? Unless if you're morbidly obese, they're not really asking you that. Number 5, Alzheimer's and dementia are not a part of the natural aging process. Something has drastically changed over the past few decades. Medications and your food are at the heart of it. This is an assumption. Number 6, the average med school offer takes less than 20 hours. Whoa, this is crazy. The average med school offers less than 20 hours of nutritional education. Teaching people how to eat healthy wouldn't encourage medications and reliance upon the system, would it? That's interesting because you have courses that are like 6-month courses for becoming even just a 3-month course just to become a nutrition coach. And you think about 3 months of schooling, that's a lot more than 20 hours. That is wild. 7, healthcare is the only profession where you can charge someone $500 for 10 minutes of pretending to pay attention to them. Yeah, so Brett Boucher might be a comedian. That's pretty funny. Number 8, you can get your blood work done yourself. You don't need an MD referral. This is true. It's actually something that they offer at my gym. And this is a great thing to do to find out what vitamins you're deficient in and what kind of supplements you need to, whatever it is, feel less aches and pains, deal with inflammation, or maybe even, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't even spit it out. The aches and pains, the vitamins that you're deficient in that help boost energy. That's exactly what it was. Finding more energy, being more nutritionally sound. Number 9, Physicians and healthcare staff have one of the highest burnout rates of any industry, but the monopolies created by large healthcare systems make it nearly impossible for them to find work elsewhere. Number 10, the algorithms used throughout healthcare are engineered to maximize profit and minimize care. And listen, we're one of the only countries in the world that allow for medications to be advertised on TV. So if you have any questions about money, think about that. I mean, you're watching the Super Bowl and a commercial for, I don't know, Cialis pops up. What goes through your mind? How much did that commercial cost to put on the air? And how many of these pills are you selling to afford that? And it's so interesting because prescriptions can be different prices based on insurance. So insurance companies are in bed trying to get different patients on different drugs. I mean, think about the rabbit hole that this is sending me to. I'm spinning right now. The medication system is effective at keeping you alive, dependent, with a low quality of life, not to make you healthier. And this is why I think it might have been Robert F. Kennedy who coined the term the sick care system. Or was that Tucker Carlson? I don't. Somebody's been calling it the sick care system lately. Number 12, healthcare will always bend to the knee of the government, thus making healthcare employees second-class government employees. Number 13, healthcare systems often have required quotas on the number of patient visits each day. A good healthcare system teaches you not to be dependent on them. Ours is the opposite. Number 14, if your doctor gets irritated when you ask questions, find a new doctor. They aren't interested in your health or educating you on it. These are the doctors who are salesmen. A lot of them are. I may or may not have had one in my past, but I won't be held liable. Number 15, Big Pharma funds medical schools. Of course, a medication-first approach is going to be a part of indoctrination. Number 16, medications are often prescribed over and over again without any analysis if something is a new symptom or a side effect of another medication. Before you know it, you're on 10 or more medications with no idea how you got there. Man. 17, hospitals are run by administrators with little to no patient care experience. Their priorities are far from providing patients with the best care, but in maximizing profits. Look at the degrees of the people who are running your hospitals. Number 18, nutrition is so critical to managing disease that when a doctor doesn't bring it up with their patients, it's a sign they have no idea themselves. And that's honestly true. I've seen many fat doctors in my life. And I will say the F word whenever I want. Number 19, surgery should be your last option, not your first. Seek multiple opinions and preventative approaches. Realize healthcare is a business. Be wary of any MD only interested in getting you under the knife. 20. Over the next few years, you will see less patient care, staff shortages and healthcare burnout, increased financial pressure on Medicare and Medicaid, an aging population put massive pressure on the system. All in all, the system is broken. Being aware of it is the first step towards avoiding becoming dependent upon it down the line. Yeah, man, that could really get you down hearing about that stuff. But you got to remind yourself, and a lot of this thread reminded you to take care of yourself in the process and not even think about that whole dark side of everything that's going on. Now, I understand it's a trap, and I see people fall in it time and time and time again. People that are very close to me, and it's discouraging to see other people around you having these faults. Remind yourself what you're in control of. It's really tough to do, but you gotta that's your mantra. This goes into Goggins again. Just start giving commands to your mind. And get out there and go for a walk, go for a run, do something to take yourself away from the possibilities of bad health and eat well. It's all in our control. We can avoid these things, and the more we avoid these things, they'll get less powerful. The more people who catch on to the health trend, it really has to be that pure will. You have to be a tough, and your mindset has to be focused because that temptation is all around you. But it's what helps you live a longer, happier life. Somebody who's living a very long, very happy life right now is a very healthy 78-year-old Ernie Hudson. That's right, from Ghostbusters. I found a thread here that was like super interesting to me because let's see how this guy looks like. He's probably, I don't know, he's got a picture up here. He looks like he's 50 years old. Here are his 10 secrets to looking half his age. Number 1, regular physical training. Can't talk. Number 1, regular physical training. Let's get serious here. Just like Ernie. Shout out to Ernie. For Ernie, exercise just isn't about appearance. Bingo. That should never be your goal, because what if you're never satisfied? You know, there's a possibility that it could make you last longer or keep going, keep you consistent, or you could get discouraged and just stop. But not everybody's going to look perfect. You have to realize that and know that for Ernie, exercise isn't just about appearance. It's about maintaining good health for the long haul. The type of exercise doesn't matter as much as it's finding something you enjoy. Whatever's going to keep you consistent, that's what you should just keep on doing. Number 2, walk at least 30 minutes on non-lifting days. Walking is incredibly underrated. It can reduce your risk of mortality by 11% and even more if you walk for at least 15 minutes a day. It's also an excellent way to burn fat while preserving muscle. Number 3, have a supportive health buddy. Ernie works with a young, supportive personal trainer. This accountability keeps him motivated to stay fit. Progress is achievable for everyone, but consistency requires accountability. That's why I love when my friends reach out to me, because I will bug them and I will try to persuade them to keep going to the gym. You always have to be motivating to the people around you that are doing good things for themselves. You got to be proud of people, because it's not easy. You know, it's what is easy. You know, if it was easy, everybody would do it, first of all. But what is easy is sitting around, especially with everything that's around us. Everything that you could do: watch TV, play video games, browse on the computer. You can do so many things to avoid the hard work. But here we are. We are locking in, and we are finding somebody else who is on the same page as you. That's going to help you stay motivated, because a lot of things in life, they can turn into competitions. You want to do better than the other person in a friendly way. You know, you don't have to have spite behind it, but that's a good way to push each other back and forth. Don't go overboard. You know, don't rub it in their face, but you got to go, hey, well, you did that. Well, check this out a little bit, huh? Maybe it'll put a little steam in their boat. But remember to congratulate them for what they did too. You know, be genuine. Or just don't do that at all, because I don't think I know how to do it the right way. Number 4, regular checkups. Did you know Ernie is a 2-time cancer survivor? Wow, this is incredible. He detected it early, allowing for effective treatment. Regular checkups are crucial for catching issues early. Okay. So, he is just continuing to push through, and it's such a contrast from all the sick care system to hear this 2-time cancer survivor. And when you go through this thread, look at this guy. I mean, he is in great shape. He does not look like he's close to 80 years old. Number 5 is oatmeal. I love oatmeal. And Ernie regularly eats oatmeal, which is high in fiber, something many of us lack. It's great for digestive health and keeping things running smoothly, if you know what I mean. Consistency with a healthy food you enjoy is better than forcing down something you dislike. Just like exercise, find what you enjoy, something that's going to keep you going back to it. Number 6 is hard-boiled eggs and smoked salmon. These are Ernie's go-to protein sources. Eggs and salmon are packed with essential vitamins and minerals, completing each other perfectly. Yes, this is the branched chain amino acids and different types of proteins that make up what a protein is. These two things, salmon and eggs, both have complete proteins in them, which have all of the different enzymes that are building blocks for healthy muscle. Eggs and salmon, yeah, they're packed with the vitamins that complement each other. Salmon is rich in omega-3, while eggs are high in zinc. which are minerals that are really good for your bones and your joint health. 7. Spinach. Ernie loves spinach. Call him Popeye. It's no surprise. Spinach is packed with minerals, antioxidants, ecdysterone, a compound that boosts muscle growth. Oh, that's why Popeye's biceps got huge. 8. Vegetable soup. Ernie's wife makes him vegetable soup. Well, good for Ernie. Step 1, get a supportive partner. And step 2, enjoy a variety of vegetables for your daily nutrient needs. Yes, these are a couple of the rules here. You have that supportive buddy who's in the gym, and then, this is also great for you too. Anybody that you're around in life, you should be on the same page with. Obviously, it's fair for people to have their different opinions and different types of hobbies, but you gotta birds of a feather flock together, as some would say. Number 9, avoid processed foods. Ernie avoids processed foods like donuts, pizza, and white bread. He indulges occasionally, but prioritizes avoiding processed foods for the most part. It's okay to treat yourself sometimes, but don't make it a habit. This is the 80%, 20% rule that I've talked about before in the past. Everything is good in moderation, but that moderation has to be heavy on the good side. And number 10 is intermittent fasting, which we've also talked about before. Saving the best for last. Intermittent fasting has numerous benefits, including improved insulin response, increased energy levels, enhanced focus, better calorie management, and detoxification. And I bet you Ernie Hudson is also doing some sort of special routine to keep himself loose and limber. Being flexible is also important to longevity. Flexibility and muscle are really the main things that are going to protect your joints and your ligaments as you grow old. And the last thread I have here is by Oliver Anwar. The most forgotten part of fitness, it says, flexibility. He's created the perfect stretch routine. Steal the easy 5-minute routine to improve your body's mobility. 1. Neck mobility. Use neck rolls anti-clockwise, then clockwise to loosen up your neck. Move the neck slowly from left to right and then go forward and backward. Upward dog. The secret benefit is that it's great for opening up the abs and the lower back. Place your hands in line with your shoulders and look up towards the ceiling. And all of these tweets that I'm reading have a video that are Guardian Cap Julius Peppers is being walked to the locker room now, 41 seconds before halftime, so you should go back there and do some upward dog. Number 3, shoulder extensions. This is great for those who bench press a lot or sit at a desk all day. Open up the chest and shoulders. Shoulder extensions improve overall posture. Number 4 is child's pose. Sit your bum onto your heels and slowly creep your hands forward. Keep your bum on your heels. I love that he's saying bum. The benefit? This opens up the lats and stretches out the back. So, as we're going through, I'm pretty much 50-50 with this guy right now. I do child's pose every night, and I do shoulder extensions every night. Next, we have reach throughs. You start with your knees and hands on the floor, then push one hand through to stretch your lats and shoulder. Number 6 is table twists. Put your arms out and hips and feet at a 90-degree angle. Then bring them to one side, back to the middle, and then to the other side. Number 7 is scorpion kicks. You open up your lower back. It's ideal for leg days. Ensure you have enough room to fully extend. I have a few here that I'm going to need to incorporate into my routine, honestly. Upward dog is something that I should probably be doing with all the running and core training that I'm doing, and scorpion kicks as well. If they're good for leg days and you're out there running, then every single day is leg day. And this is great because I pretty much do the same stretch routine every night before bed for the last 5 years, and I feel great. I run into little hiccups from now and then, but we all do when we're really ripping and tearing through life. So it's always important to kind of expand and open up your mind to different avenues too. Here we are, we're doing callbacks all over the place. We have Goggins callbacks. We have callbacks to things that I was saying before. I mean, it's It just does not end. It is a constant journey. Brilliant. So, with all that being said, it is absolutely time for me to go to bed. I'm going to have to go through the stretching routine here. I'm going to try some of these stretches, and I hope you do too. If you do, let me know in the comments on this podcast, what was your favorite stretch? Or what is a favorite stretch that you do every time throughout your stretching routine? I'd be interested to know because I'm looking to open up and expand because I always want to feel better. So they're all worth trying. In the comments on YouTube or Spotify, leave a little suggestion for me to help myself stay loose. You can find me on Twitter at BumpyBetSlips or on Instagram at TCGXBump. If you have any suggestions for the podcast, feel free to email me at bookmarkswbump@gmail.com. And as always, it's all love. God bless.
Swear to God, I get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear to God, I get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear to God, I get higher, man.